So I was telling y'all earlier in the show that after being in court yesterday for the opening statements and the first couple witness testimonies, I think that Diddy could potentially get off. His legal team is really like that. Now, here's why. Number one, they were so good about changing the narrative around this Cassie video. Number two, they painted a good picture of Diddy being the aggressor, but an aggressor in an already aggressive situation. When it came to like the victim that is saying that he put his hands on her. So let's talk about the CNN video, the Cassie beating video. So they called a witness to the stand. This guy was one of the heads of security. So he was like second in command in security at the Intercontinental Hotel back in March of 2016.
So there was only two witnesses yesterday. The one you talked about earlier, which was the male escort, is the second. Okay.
Yeah, so actually the LAPD officer, security guard, was actually the first witness, but we talked about him out of order. But yes, only two. So this guy was working at the Intercontinental Hotel. He's a security guy who actually responded when Cassie got on the phone in the lobby outside of the elevators and called for help.
The hallway, yep.
The hallway, right? So he said he got on the stand and the prosecutors are talking to him first. So this is the other side. So they're like asking him to run down what happened. So he said he got a report of a woman in distress on the 6th floor. He said he came up, and before he came up, he hadn't seen any of the footage. So he didn't know that it was like physically violent before that. But he said he came up and he was talking to Cassie and Diddy because they're going back and forth, and he's like, yo, y'all got to take this into y'all room. Y'all can't be out here doing all this. So he said as he was trying to get them back in the room, Cassie kept saying, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave. And allegedly, Diddy was like, no, she's not going anywhere. So he said he had to step in. This is what he's telling prosecutors. He had to step in and be like, well, if she wants to leave, we're going to allow her to get her things and leave, and I'll walk y'all to the room to do it. So he says he walks them to the room. And when he gets to the room, he's able to see inside, and there's a man in dark clothing sitting on the bed, which is important, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because Cassie is alleging that the video that we saw was her trying to get away from one of those freak off situations that she did not want to be a part of. And because she didn't want to be a part of, everything we saw in that video was what happened. Now Diddy's team is saying,
so that's why the video matters to the court.
Diddy's team is saying, no, because freak-offs weren't a thing. You guys were consensually engaging in sexual acts, but that's not even what happened here. Diddy's team pointed out the fact that when he comes back out, like after he like throws the vase and he walks away, he has a lit up phone in his hand. He grabs the phone out of her hand. They were arguing over allegedly something that she saw in the phone, that this is just a very tumultuous, like jealous relationship, right? So this guy, he's important. This witness is important because he's going to help you determine which side of that you believe. So he's running down what he saw. He says he saw this guy in the room when he's talking to the prosecutors. He's also saying that, like, you know, after Cassie left, there was like this 7-foot man that, like, basically like a big man that came and picked Cassie up, and obviously she knew the man, but it was kind of uncomfortable going back to the whole, you know, Diddy's team was helping him orchestrate all this stuff. He says he went back upstairs to talk to Puff and explain to him the rules of the hotel and that he have to pay for some things, and Diddy had this like devilish stare on his face when he came out of the elevator at one point, and that Diddy allegedly offered him money. So the man is saying that Diddy offered him money because he didn't want any of this to come out, because for her and for him. But then they cross-examine him. So now Brian Steele gets up there for Diddy.
Top dog law.
No, let me tell you, we reported about Brian Steele a lot in here, but I have never seen, and he did it so effortlessly. I've never seen nothing like this. So he gets up there and he's like, okay, so you're now an LAPD officer, because they leaned a lot on that, because they want you to look at this man as like he has integrity.
And he's currently an LAPD
currently
officer.
LAPD officer after he left being security at that hotel, right? So he has all this morals and integrity because he's an officer. He understands taking oath and telling the truth. So Brian Steele was like, okay, well, you told us that when you do your incident reports, you got to report the W's, where, what, why, who, like all the details. So he goes into the incident report and he says to him, he says, the incident reports are important, right? Because when we're recounting these things, we're relying on your report. So everything in your report is valid because y'all depend on that. He's like, yeah. So he instantly starts getting him. He's like, okay, so you mentioned something about Cassie having a purple eye when you got off of the elevator. Why wasn't that in your incident report? The man said, well, I didn't think that was significant to put in. Brian Steele said, so you thought it was significant today, but it wasn't significant 9 years ago? So then he says, you said that you saw a man inside of their hotel room. Why wasn't that in your incident report? Did you ask the man his name? Did you talk to him? And he was like, no, because the man didn't really say anything. So then Brian Steele was like, well, you also mentioned that you offered to call the police, but Cassie told you not to. Why didn't you put that in your incident report? And he was like, because I didn't think it was important to, like, you know what I mean? She said, don't call the
The
cops.
obvious answer to all of that is because he was trying to cover up for Diddy.
So no. But like, listen.
Yes,
so
that's the obvious answer for all of that.
I'm about to keep going. Listen. So he's like, no, because I didn't think that was important, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, so when you say that you saw this man inside of the hotel room, right? Can you talk to us about like how the hotel room was set up? Because the point he was trying to get to, but they backed up off of it, was Diddy would have been in a presidential suite or a larger hotel room where if you're standing in the doorway, you're not seeing someone sitting on a bed. You're not seeing a person, and you didn't even put that in your report. So he's like, that makes no sense whatsoever. And then the prosecution had already played the video in full, and then they played these videos he recorded on his phone. And they asked him, well, why would you record videos on your phone? And he's like, because if I had told my wife that this just happened, because I knew who Puff was, but I didn't know who Cassie was, she wouldn't have believed me. That blows, even if he was just trying to cover up for Diddy, that now makes him look like you were so fanned out at this point. We can't trust either side. We can't trust you in defense of Diddy.
He sent the video to his wife?
He sent the 2 videos to his wife, and in the video you hear him laughing like, look how shiny my shoes are. Like, he's not taking it serious at all. So then he's like, people were coming up to me afterward that worked for the hotel asking me about this video, and I'm telling them, like, he's super excited, telling everybody about it, telling everybody what happened. But now today you only are saying that you remember certain things that go against Puff while you're on the stand, but you didn't say those things back then.
Because he was covering up for Puff back then, but maybe he got a conscience now is all I'm simply saying.
But did he get paid by Diddy? Did he take money?
He said he didn't take the money. He said that Diddy offered him a ton of money, and to that, Brian Steele...
it was a stack.
Yeah, he said he came out with a huge stack of money, and he didn't offer it. To that, Brian Steele said, well, you were basically, because he kept saying, I kept telling Diddy how much he had to, not how much he had to pay, but the fact that you had to pay for all the stuff that you messed up. And if Diddy's already saying to you, I don't want this to get out anywhere, he's like, so of course when you came back up to him, he had the money ready or whatever, because you're saying he had all this cash. Like, he had it ready because he just wanted to take care of it and move on.
You know,